Hi guys, this video is about new tool released by me. It's called Get-UnJlaive, and before I explain what is Get-UnJlaive, I must tell you what is Jlaive. So Jlaive is quite a new tool, and Jlaive aims to it's an antivirus evasion tool that can convert .NET assemblies to undetectable batch files. So basically it will just grab your .NET assembly you will supply to it, and it will convert it to batch file. But it has many features. It performs encryption, compression, and MC bypass, anti-debug, obfuscation, and other things. And in case of obfuscation, it could be quite harder to get the original assembly. So basically, you can see that the detection is very low after using this tool. So now we can come back to my Get-UnJlaive, because Get-UnJlaive is basically a tool which is able to reconstruct the Jlaive obfuscated protected files to original assembly and stub assembly. What I mean with the stub assembly, because first of all, your original assembly is converted to stub assembly, and the stub assembly just doing some things like the MC bypass and other things. And for it's also the original assembly is in resources of the stub assembly encrypted and compressed. Also, the stub assemblies is too encrypted and compressed, and different keys for AS encryption are used. So basically, it could be quite hard to get the original file. So this basically PowerShell module should do that. Here is some description about this tool, and yep. So you can see it also here, because basically this PowerShell module will just execute the bat file created by the Jlaive, but it will execute it, but immediately it will grab that, suspend that, and grab the command line arguments, because basically we want to defeat also the obfuscated form of Jlaive protected files. So no code should be executed, but be aware, run it only in your VM. You can see that basically we created the new process, but before we created the new process, we started monitoring of and capturing events about new processes. So whenever the new process is created, we will just suspend it, grab the command line arguments like the obfuscated form of the bat file, and terminate the process, and after that we will just reconstruct the original assembly and stop assembly. And that's it. So we can just basically jump to our VM to introduce some showcase. So first of all, we will just download these tools. So dump guy GitHub. This tool is available on my GitHub page. You can see it here, and here it is somewhere, repository, and here Get-UnJlaive. So we can actually download it, and we will also download Jlaive, the latest version. The latest version should be here somewhere, the version 2.3. Yep. And we will download the compiled binaries, and that's it. So first of all, let's grab the PowerShell module, the feature, and also grab the tool Jlaive, protector. Nice. For this exercise, I prepared a very basic tool program. I will show you in the NSPy. You can see that it's a .NET assembly, and it's very trivial. here it is. If you check that, it just basically has only a base64 encoded string. You can see it calls decode main. It will convert from base64 and also print it. You will see that here, console write line. And that's it. This is basically our program. We will obfuscate, we will protect with the Jlaive. And I will show you what will be created. And if you run it, you can see super secret. Nice. So we will use the Jlaive, and we will first what we will create will be basically the default configuration, like with nothing here checked. So the script, the bed file, will not be obfuscated. Open and build. Okay, we have it here. And we can rename it to default. And now we will choose the options, all options. And very important is also the obfuscated and here the checked, because with this checked, different stub file will be created, and we have to counter with that because we have to count it because we will parse it. Build. And that's it. So what you can see, two files were created. We will rename this one to all option. And if you check the first one, the default, with no checked option, you will see basically the bed file. And you can see here that basically it just copy the PowerShell and set the attributes to system and hidden. And here is some command line to execute, and you can exactly see here that basically, okay, view word rep, that these are very interesting command lines. Basically, this will just here below in the last line is basically the encrypted and compressed stub assembly, and this stub assembly will be decrypted and decompress and execute, and this stub assembly will just basically grab from resource our original assembly, decrypt it, decompress it, and run it. So it works like this, so like two stages. And yeah, my PowerShell module will deal with both of them. So this is basically the one which is not obfuscated, and the obfuscated one is quite interesting because we really don't want to deal with that. You can see it here, obfuscated, and basically it's doing the same thing, but you can see it's obfuscated, and we need to somehow get the obfuscated form of this, like with the command line only already in the obfuscated form. So I choose to use the dynamic approach for this, and I'm just monitoring your processes, grab the command line and terminate the process. So it will be immediately suspended after the execution, but it will not execute the code, which is basically your original assembly and the stub code and the stub assembly. So these two files will not be executed, but be aware, run it in your VM only. Okay, so we can just go to the usage of the tool. Yeah, the tool is here. So I can yeah, no problem. So PowerShell. You know, there is one thing. If you want to just deobfuscate and unprotect the file, the bed file, which should be and you want to, I don't know why, run it basically as an administrator, you also must run the module as an administrator. But if you just run it as a normal user or not elevated, you can just run PowerShell in not elevated form. So import module and our Get-UnJlaive. Get-UnJlaive. And here is only one parameter. Yeah, path to that file. If you just want to print the help, no problem. Okay. This is somehow very strange. Maybe get help. Oh my god. Get help. Get-UnJlaive. All full. Yes, that's better. And you can see somewhere here syntax and path, parameters, maybe detail. Oh, the same. But if you check it here, you will see basically, I will show you how does it work in Visual Studio, very briefly. Oh, word wrap. And come on. Yes. So you can see it's done by it's developed by me, but you can see also that it was tested with the latest Jlaive current release 2.3, but you can see that there is only one parameter, path to bed file, and here are some examples, link, and other things. So first of all, this tool is using DNlib. So DNlib is dynamically loaded via the reflection, and here is the DNlib. And this is what you can see here. That we are using this basically because of the functionality to suspend and terminate processes. You can see here I'm just using anti-DLL and functions like anti-suspend process, anti-terminate process, open process, and close handle. This is because whenever we execute the bed file, I want to immediately suspend it and grab the command line in the obfuscated form and terminate it. So you can see some functions, suspend process, exit process. Here is the AS decryption and gzip decompression, which are basically implemented by Jlaive. And here you can see the parsing of the stub assembly. After we will decrypt it and decompress, we have to parse it and find the main function and some kind of arguments to the next decryption. And for this parsing, we are just using DNlib. And here what you can see is basically we will start process the bed file, but we will start it like with PowerShell. PowerShell will wait 3 seconds, and after that it will spawn the bed file. Why 3 seconds? Because I'm immediately after this, so before it will start the execution of the bed file, I'm here starting the monitoring of new processes. So whenever this process is started, the bed file, I will check if the arguments are as I need, and I will grab that and terminate, suspend the process, grab the command lines, and terminate the process. So the step file and the original assembly should not be executed. And basically that's it. Parsing DNlib and parsing with DNlib and other things. Okay. So again, PowerShell. Stop. Import module. And now Get-UnJlaive path to bed file, and the bed file is somewhere, I don't know, test. And first of all, we will just try the default with the default option. Copy as path, and here. And let's run it, check it. Monitoring processes, executing bed file. You remember 3 seconds, but we were already monitoring that, and that's it. So we can see that it was executed, but we already monitored. We suspend it. We grab the command line, the obfuscated form, we terminate the process, and we reconstruct the original assembly and also the stub assembly. Okay, so you can see here. This is the step file, and this is the original assembly. The step file, you can see the step file is the first one, which is decrypted from the bed file. And if you check the step file in dnspy, the step file looks like this. You can see it here, and this is for default option. For default option, only this stub file is basically created, and you can see it will just grab the resource, which is here, resource named payload txt, and it's in base64, and this is your basically original assembly, but encrypted and compressed. So you can check it here. It grabs the assembly, and it will yep, here is the AS decryption, and here is the decompression, gzip decompression, and after that it will just invoke the main. And what you can see here are basically, this one is the password for AS, and this one is the initial vector for AS for the decompression. So we need to somehow parse it out and decrypt the original one, because we have first password in the bed file, and the initial vector was for this stub file, and these two are different one, and we need to grab that too, and for this we are using Jlaive. So okay, and now I can show you the original one here. And if you remember, this is our original one reconstructed. You can see the default bed orig, and you can see it's the same as it was the before. The before one was, the original one is this one. So if you check that, the same. Nice. So nicely reconstructed, and it worked. But if you remember the stub file basically, I already told you what it's doing, but you can see that it's quite a few code. And if you check the stub file for all option in the Jlaive, it's more heavier. So I will show you. Close all. And now it's time for, we don't need this one anymore. And now it's time to do the same, but for our heavily obfuscated. Okay. This one, if you remember, this is the little sophisticated one. If you remember, it's this one, and we need to somehow grab that in the obfuscated form. Okay, so let's try. Okay, with all, and here. Monitoring processes, executing, no problem, grabbing, blah, 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 and yep, and it's done, the same output. So what we have here, you can see that the base64exe all bed file was just disappeared. It was deleted, because if you remember the options, there was option for deleting itself after the execution. You can see here, delete, self-delete. But the stub file and the original assembly was not executed, just only the bed file. And what we got here, we can check the original assembly if it was nicely reconstructed. And here, no problem. And we can try to run it, of course. You can see here, original. Yep, runs. And we can check the stub. And the stub file, again, as I said, I already told you, it just serves for the decryption and decompression of the original assembly, and also some checks like the MC bypass. You can see it here, MCDLL, MC bypass, and other things you basically chase to use in the option when you created the protector. And you can see also here again that it's just grabbing also the resource payload text and decrypt that. You can see here is the decryption and here is the decompression. No problem. And you saw already that my module, PowerShell module, was able to basically reconstruct it nicely, as you saw here. Yep. Nice. And that's all. That's all. So basically we just defeated Jlaive with our new tool. The tool is available on my GitHub page. I already show you somewhere here. So you can just grab this tool, and whenever you will encounter Jlaive, try to use it. Be aware that basically this tool in the Jlaive is in heavy or intense development, so maybe there will be some main changes, and this PowerShell module maybe stop work or other, but now it's working for the latest version, and if you need some modification, it's written in PowerShell, nicely readable, so you can maybe tweak it a little bit, or if I have to, I will just modify it. It depends how this Jlaive tool protector will be used heavily. And that's all. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you find this new PowerShell tool, PowerShell module useful. See you.